Right. And value is that key word, I think, Elisha, because we always get focused on price. Everybody does. You're kind of conditioned that way, whether it's stocks or your house or, a tool you have or anything. We talk about the price all the time. Heck, we spent 15 minutes talking about price, but value. Yeah, because you might see, on a bad day, the price of gold go down $25. But as the plates just continue to spin faster and faster, and everything's just going, closer and closer to the mathematical end, the value of the precious metal doesn't really matter on a day-to-day basis. It's always going up, for what you want it to do as a part of a, total portfolio, it's irreplaceable. And so, that's like what we try to do at my side. It's not so much about trading and, catching a swing and a pivot and all that kind of jazz. It's more about getting the general trend. And, if you like to buy even 20 ounces of silver every month, well, if we get the trend right and you hold off and you can save you $1, it saves you $20 more than pays for your subscription. I mean, the main thing is just the recognition of where we are, how fast we're getting there, and then taking preparatory steps, ahead of these events that are definitely coming. Just a matter of when they get here.
And I think one of the things is also that with paper assets, like stocks and bonds and all of that, is if we look back at the 2008 crisis, we saw those fall significantly, yes, but also some people, got locked out of their accounts and stuff like that, and banks went under. And it's like, when you have physical precious metals, you have that regardless of other financial institutions, how they play out, and stocks and bonds can go to zero. So, but physical precious metals can't. And I think that's very key.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And if there are people that are out there, and there are a lot of them, that are frustrated with price and the pricing scheme, and how can trading of a futures contract be the determinant thing for price? It doesn't make any sense. Ever since Nixon suspended the convertibility of the dollar into gold, because there wasn't enough gold to go around, the financial system has developed, all sorts of gold substitutes. Synthetic gold, pretend gold, whatever you want to call it, whether it's futures contracts or ETFs, unallocated accounts, where they claim they have the metal, but they don't charge you a storage fee. But on where they do have metal, they do charge you a storage fee. I'm always amazed at how that works out. But anyway, if you're frustrated by price and you'd like to see, what actually happens in a physical market, like the best thing you can do is own physical metal. Don't own the different things that are just simply an exposure to price. Buy the real thing. Every hand that we take out of the financial system, the bank, driven system, and get it in your own hands, or, whatever, trusted storage company, that kind of speeds along the process, getting closer to a true price discovery of, based on how many dollars is it going to take for me to get my hands on that ounce, as opposed to, well, I can buy this ETF, or I can, buy a futures contract or whatever. So yeah, there's definitely still a time and a place, and this is the time and this is the place to have physical metal. And it's not ever anything, nobody should ever sink everything into one asset class. That'd be foolish, right? You wouldn't put it all in Tesla, right? You might have some allocation to Tesla just to kind of for the whole blended portfolio. But boy, you look around a year like this, like I said, you've got a risk of who knows what the monetary policy is going to be. We got political risk, ahead of that next U.S. election. Think back what it was like in the summer of 2020. What's it going to be like in the summer of 2022? We'll see. And then you got geopolitics, whether it's China and Taiwan, or Russia and NATO, or Iran and Saudi Arabia. That all of it just, if you have some gold and silver where the value is always there, makes you sleep a little better at night.
You mentioned really a way that people can vote with their wallet, right? For this, getting money outside of the system. We saw a lot of people doing that this year, last year, especially at the beginning of the year with the silver squeeze. Do you see that happening again, where really retail investors have some impact on the price of silver?
Be fun to do, wouldn't it? I mean, I was right there last year when that idea first took hold on that last Friday of January, and that was fun. And those, I mean, that group over there, that Wall Street Silver group, it's only growing. I mean, it's just getting to be more and more people. So we'll see. There's kind of that awakening. You got to reach a point of critical mass where enough people demand physical metal, right? More than the system can provide. I'm not sure if we're there yet, but just even on an individual basis, so Elijah, if someone were to skim around, on Google or DuckDuckGo or whatever, and just start typing in, central banks buying gold, and just even as of late, the central banks continue to buy gold, not just like Russia and China, but I don't know, what was the most recent, Ireland? Okay, and the central banks realize that, again, they're just diversifying as well. I mean, they're taking their dollar reserves and taking some of those dollars and exchanging it for hard asset, gold. Well, okay, how'd they get dollar reserves? Well, from, build-up of trade, foreign currency reserves and stuff. Well, you and I have dollar reserves, Elijah. I mean, it's called a bank account. It's your savings account. It's your account at Ameritrade or Schwab or something. Those are your dollar reserves. You went out and worked. You spent some of what you made. You paid taxes. Whatever's left over is your savings. Those are your dollar reserves. Well, if these central banks, in preparation of, where this is ultimately headed, if they want to diversify some out of dollars into gold, well, geez, Louise, why wouldn't we as individuals do the same? So we just keep trying to put that message out there, grow the amount of people that are seeking physical metal. And then, if in the off chance we can demand enough that it stresses the system and, again, pulls back that curtain so people realize that there's far more pretend metal than there is the actual thing, that could be a real fun event to be a part of as well.
I know, yeah, like becoming your own central bank, I think, is so key. I don't remember who originally came up with that phrase. I know Gregory Manarino talks about it a lot, but yeah, really taking charge. We do live in a fiat monetary system that, seems very fraudulent in some respect, a system that is all based on just digits on a screen, just paper, not really having any fundamental worth. But you can take charge and become your own central bank and hold physical metal yourself. So I think that's so key. And I guess before we let you go, Craig, any last thoughts before we let you go, and where can our viewers find you online?
Well, last thoughts would be just, try to focus on the big picture this year, because there's going to be, the news just comes at you so fast, day to day, and it's so easy to get distracted. There's never been a more important time for critical thinking, independent thinking, and doing your own homework, because so much of what comes at you is biased or some type of agenda, or repeated by people that don't know what even remotely what they're talking about, but it's just a talking point and they're out with some political agenda or something else. So it's all about educating yourself. We play a small part in that for our subscribers at TF Metals Report. I do what I do, which is, writing and talking about it every day. But the big value of my site is that everybody else is on it, and the links that they provide and the perspective they provide from their part of the world. Because I got people from all over the globe, people working together. They're private messaging each other, helping each other out with questions or anything else. And so if anything, in a year like this, I mean, it's $15 a month, but I think it's money well spent just to give you as many sources of objective information as you can get. And again, it's all right there at tfmetalsreport.com.